Welcome to Flash Tutorial Request 110, Inventory for Quest Game Part 3. It's a follow-up to Flash Tutorial Request 109, which was Inventory for Quest Game Part 2, and that's what I have on my computer. Before we get started, you should get a pencil and paper because we got to write down some coordinates, and going to lock the layers. I want to know the x-coordinate of the map, so I'm opening the map up, unlocking it, selecting it, open the properties panel. I see frame, so I got to click on my map, and there's my map, and the x-coordinate is 5118. That's the x-coordinate of my map. I want to lock that. I now want the items. No, they're not important. The inventory itself. So I'm going to hide the map, so I don't need to see that anymore. And I'm going to unlock the inventories. Select that frame, and the system inventory I want here. Open the properties panel, and it's 172.05. Now yours are going to be different. Lock that. I now want the inventory for each item text, so I don't need to see them all, just click one of them, and it is 121 on the X. And finally, lock that. I need to know this box, that's the total inventory count, which is this one right here. Still in there with the inventory text, but it's this one I want. And that one is 193. I'll use them later on. Lock all layers. Select the actions frame here in line with the home. Open the actions panel. Now down here we wrote some code in the previous tutorial. Where was that? Way down here. About these two variables. They're going to keep track of whether the inventory is on off or whether the map is on and off. So come down to the very bottom, put 3 enters, and type all this code. Now if it's code I already used, I'm not going to go through it word letter by letter. I've already used add event listener, open bracket event period, enter underscore frame, we already done that, comma, I'm calling this map on off, that's the name of this function, close bracket semicolon, function, copy map on off, paste it in, open bracket e small e colon event, capital E, close bracket colon void. Here's the opened curly bracket for this add event listener, and way down here is a closed curly bracket for the add event listener. Now we're doing a test on that variable that we just made. If turns purple, open bracket map on off equals 1, close bracket, open curly bracket. This is testing to see if the value in that variable is equal to 1. Open curly bracket. If it is, map underscore MC period X, that's the map. Its x coordinate equals 5,000 semicolon. If that's true, we want the map to disappear and it will shoot it way over, completely off our stage to the right. There's a closed curly bracket for this if. Now you could copy this and paste it. And if you do, you want to make sure that you have a -1 here. And here for the map x coordinate, that's the one that we wrote down, and I had on this particular one 511.8. That's my coordinate for my map to come back to when I want it to come back on the stage. There's a closed curly bracket. Now there's a second variable, was the inventory. If open bracket inventory on off equals -1, close bracket. Now I'm checking to see if it's this one. It's a -1. If that's true, we're going to do something. There's the open bracket for this if. there's the open curly bracket for this if, there's the closed curly bracket for this if. And I want to do a few things. If the inventory is a -1, inventory INV underscore MC period X, that's the inventory, equals 5,000. We're going to shoot that off the stage, just like we did the other one, with a semicolon. Now, all these text boxes, I got to move them. So, rope underscore text period X equals ax underscore text period X. Same for the food, the same for the water. Anything that I have in here that I gave a dynamic text name to, I have to list, and period X equals 5,000 semicolons. So that'll send all them off the stage along with the inventory. And this I could have just added on the list, but I don't like making any lines longer than what I'm working with on my small computer screen. So inventory underscore text period X equals 5,000 semicolon. So this is going to take the inventory itself, this box, and all these boxes and move them off to the stage so we don't see them. That's if it's a -1. There's the closed curly bracket for this one. Now we have to write the code for when the on-off variable is a +1. So click here, right-click, copy that. Copy it, put a couple enters and paste it in. Here, change this to a 1, not -1. This inventory movie clip X, mine should be 172.05. My rope, all these should go back to 121. And this one should go back to 193. And we should have, when we're finished, 2 closed curly brackets here. Now we should make the buttons to run these 2 maps and this inventory. So back to the main timeline. Make sure all the layers are locked. I'm selecting my inventory text layer, inserting layer, call it button, B-U-T-T as in buttons. Selecting this frame in line with the home, insert a blank keyframe. I'm at 100%, picking up my oval tool. I want black for my stroke, and I want a yellowish color for my fill. And making an oval here. Picking up my selection tool, highlighting it, right click, copy it, right click, paste it in place, and use my arrow keys to move it over. It's still all fuzzy, right click, convert it to a symbol. Make sure button is selected and call this INV inventory underscore BTN. Copy that and paste that in for an instance name. Double click on, now we're inside this button movie clip. Call this layer button, B-U-T, lock it. Insert a layer, call it text, T-E-X-T. Select your text tool, open the properties panel. Make sure we have static text. I want black and around 14 points for me. And it should be okay. And here write INV, inventory. Pick up your selection tool, put that in here. Back to scene 1. Double click on this one, right click, convert it to a symbol. Map, M-A-P underscore BTN. Copy that. Double click on it. Oops, got to paste it in here. Paste it in for a instance name. Double click on it. Call this layer but, B-U-T. Lock it. Insert a layer. Text. T-E-X-T, and pick up your text tool again. It shouldn't have changed. And write map, M-A-P. Pick up your selection tool and drag that in place. Back to scene 1. Open up the actions panel again for this frame. Way down the bottom, come at the very end, few enters, and type. This is the code for those buttons. Type. Map _BTN, period. Add event listener. Open bracket, mouse event, period, click, comma. I'm calling this map toggle. Capital M, capital T. Close bracket, semicolon. Function, map toggle, open bracket, event, small e, colon, mouse event, close bracket, colon, void, open curly bracket, close curly bracket. Here I want map on off equals map on off times. That's the asterisk, the uppercase of number 8 minus 1, semicolon. When you take a value, which is going to be in here, and multiply any value by minus 1, you change the sign. Here's the closed curly bracket. Copy that, paste it in. Change the word map here to INV. Change it here, INV, 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 and we don't need a trace. And this might work. Test movie, test. No errors that I see of. And I click here on inventory map. Okay. Oh yes, the dreaded 1009 error. That means something hasn't been fixed on the timeline. Let's go back to the timeline. And I think what we need to do is bring up the map. So let's do the map. Click right here on the map layer. Insert a keyframe. The shelves are not a movie clip. Everything else should, this might work. Control, test movie, test. I should have had this over. I would have seen that right away, that error code. Don't have the error code. The inventory comes and goes, and the map comes and goes, and the inventory comes and goes. That's very good. We want the map to be above the shelves and the items on the shelves. So let's click the map layer and drag it up there. Now lock all the layers. We, in our action script, way up the top here somewhere, no, not that high. Well, I was already there probably. Mine's around lines 107. It's where we did the inventory count button, and we have this if inventory count is greater than 4. In other words, it's 5. Here I want to say go to the next bunch of frames. So go to and stop. Small g, small t, capital A, capital S, open bracket, quotation. I'm calling this home lev. So like leaving home. Capital H-O-M-E, capital L-E-V, close quotation, close bracket, semicolon. Copy that home lev. That's going to be the name of a frame. Go back to the timeline. Right here, click on this frame and open the properties panel, and you should have frame written there, and paste in that home lev. And now come up to frame 40-ish and insert a keyframe. And I want to click this, get the fuzzy square and just drag it there. I want to click on these 3, drag them to there. I want to click on my map and drag it to there. And the items are not important at this point in time. Let's go unlock make the maps layer visible. unlock the map layer, select frame 1 of the map, double click on it. Now we're inside that map. Unlock the buttons layer, and wherever you have this little green patch, we're going to do something. Double click on this button. We're inside this home button. Highlight it, right click, copy it. We're just copying the shape, not the button. If I look over here, I'm only copying the shape of the button, not the button itself. Back to the map. Select that button layer, right click, paste the button in somewhere. There it is there. If you can't find it, go to here to fit the window, and you can find it. Then click on it and drag it down here. Right click on it, modify, convert to a symbol. And this is called home, HOMLEV, home leave underscore BTN. Copy that and paste it up in here for an instance name. Back to scene 1. Let's just give this a quick check to make sure that button is there. There it is. It doesn't do anything. This one here will take us to the store. This turns the inventory on and off. The map, now you see how the map's on top like we want it. And I can still count here. I can subtract. I can still count here. So far so good. I'm back on the main timeline, and I'm in line right here with this 25, not the home one, right here, and I'm going to insert a keyframe. Insert a keyframe and drag that over 1. So now it's in line with the home. Make sure that you have the items layer unlocked, and you see they're all selected. If not, right click, select all, and we need them to be moved. And if I just take them and delete them, I'll get that 1009 error. So while they're all highlighted, I'm using my arrow key and I'm taking them off the stage. There we go. So they're going to be out of our way. And let's take and go here in line with this right here and right click, insert a keyframe. I'm going to take that keyframe and move it up 1 more slot. I'm going to right click and I'm going to remove that frame and give it 1 more try. Control, test movie, test. Make sure I have no errors. This button doesn't do anything yet because we haven't given any code for it. This one sends us to the store. We can switch the inventory on and off. We can switch the map on and off. So I think we're in business. Let's just make sure I can count something on my inventory. Show my inventory. I can count the ropes and I can count the axe. And I think I have it jumping when I reach 5. There, jumps to that open frame, which I haven't got anything on yet. Again, there's a lot in this video, so I think I'm going to stop for now. There's going to be a follow-up, 1 more, possibly 2 at the most. That's as much as I'm doing on it. It'll be Flash Tutorial Request 111, Inventory for Quest Game Part 4. If you plan on doing that, save this FLA. Hope you learned something from these tutorials, and I hope you use what you learn.